All right, let's move further from here. In Belarus, as it heads to presidential polls on Sunday, opposition parties have stepped up criticism of Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko, who seeks a sixth successive term. Now, opposition parties contesting against Lukashenko have termed the upcoming election a sham. The leaders say the election is little more than a military-style operation staged by the regime to hold on to power. Reports say all major opposition figures this time have either been driven into exile or they've been jailed, with no strong face to oppose him. The only thing to watch out for will likely be the size of the victory margin. The opposition has called for a boycott. The large-scale protests had erupted after the last presidential elections in Belarus in 2020. Then Lukashenko had been declared the winner with 80% of the vote. The result had triggered cries of fraud, months of protests and a harsh crackdown. Thousands of protesters were arrested. The European Union, that had refused to recognize Lukashenko's legitimacy as president, has hit out this time as well. EU watchers say the farcical nature of the polls stands out, claiming unabated repression by the regime.
The election also takes place in the atmosphere of fear and repression, which has been really unrelenting since 2020. We have around 1,300 people who are political prisoners behind. They're currently in prison, behind bars.
In 2021, Belarusian authorities had arrested an opposition journalist, leading to a wave of economic sanctions and flight bans. And this has led to deepening of Lukashenko's dependence on Russia. Lukashenko had allowed Russia to use his country as a staging ground for the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, but he had stopped short of sending Belarusian troops to participate in the war. Lukashenko is Europe's longest ruling leader and the only president his country has known. He is known to have close ties to the Kremlin, and allegations of violent suppression of dissent have made him an outcast in the West. Lukashenko has frequently been referred to as Europe's last dictator.